What's up? What's up? We have another episode for y'all. So this week, the movie of choice was Queen and Slim. So this is your girl Twinka, and I am here today with Twin.
Yo.
And let's get in it. Well, to it or whatever.
All right, being is again it's Black History Month, so I figured we pick some movies, for the culture. So this week we're going over Queen of Slim, one of my picks. It is streaming right now on HBO and Hulu if you got the premium Hulu. So let's get right into it. Like the screenwriter is Lena Waithe. Not sure how to say her name. I always mess up people's names. But anyway, you probably know her from Dear White People. She was a writer on The Shy. And she was I believe she was in Ready Player One. The director is Melina Mascus. Mascus? I think that's how you say it. It is actually her film debut. She's really known for directing music videos with people like Beyonce, Rihanna, Whitney Houston, and even Lady Gaga. But she also directed 7 episodes of the TV show Insecure. So we got the actor that plays Slim. His name is Daniel Kula. That's how you say it? Kalia. And you probably know him from Black Panther. One of my boys on Black Panther Forever. And Queen, her name is Jodie Turner Smith, and you probably know her from The Last Ship. So the synopsis of the story: a black female first date turns into a nightmare after a traffic stop spirals out of control, and the man kills a cop in self-defense. So let's jump into it. Little Twinka, what did you think about this movie?
Okay, so this movie made me mad on so many levels. I felt like they just kept making the wrong mistake over and over and over and over again till it just got to the point where it's like, you know what, it's done. Like it frustrated me. This movie frustrated me.
I like the movie. I really liked it. Had a little laughter, a little crying at the end, especially stuff like that. But I thought it was an all around good movie. It was written very well. It was directed very well, and I just thought they was trying to send a message through this movie. So I thought it was a good movie. I mean,
It frustrated me.
Well, it frustrated you because of the choices they was making.
Yes, like I'm like, come on, like who is really gonna? Nobody in their right mind is gonna make the decision that they were making. Like it just drove me crazy.
Well, we gonna get into this later because it's one of my questions, but they are upstanding citizens, I would call them.
Mm-hmm.
She's a lawyer, and I'm not sure he's told what his job was, but these people that do not commit crimes on a daily basis, so they not gonna act like criminals.
But they didn't have to act like criminals, but they could have used like, I'm sure they don't watch 48 Hours or something, some kind of true crime movie or whatever, to the point that they know that certain things you just don't do.
Well, it's on the run. When you on the run from the police, some people not gonna make sensible decisions. And that's just what it is. I think that's one of the main things they tried to portray in this movie. Like, non-criminals are gonna make non-criminal like decisions.
But she was a criminal attorney, I figured, because she was like right. So even if she's not used to having this criminal mindset, I felt like if she represented enough people, she listened to what they did and what they did wrong, so she should know what not to do.
Yeah, like how they got caught and stuff like that.
Right, like if I do this legally, is there anything that could justify it?
Well, she did some things that she knew, like she threw out their phones. She knew they tracking on their phones. She knew that they had to get out the country, and go to certain places, stay on the road. She knew some things, but I don't think she could have did better, like the extent of her knowledge as far as the criminal system, you know?
But you know what, low key, I felt like, to me personally, I felt like she did some of these things because she was just, I think she was done with living, to be honest. I felt like she was depressed. She was at a low spot. She didn't really have any family left. And she said, like, when they met, I mean, when she was like looking on Tinder, she said she selected him because he looked sad. So I felt like she was just at a point where she was just done with living, and she met this random guy who she felt that maybe feeling the same way, and this was just, you know, that's, she didn't know all this was going to happen, prior to that getting pulled over. But once they got pulled over, and the cop was shot and all that, I think something snapped in her head, like, you know what, forget it, this will be my last hurrah.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about this first scene that set up the whole thing. So after their date, which we're gonna talk about later too, but after their date, they started driving, and he snatched a phone from her, which made him swerve, and that's what eventually got them pulled over. Now, once they got pulled over by the police, the altercation happened, and I feel like it was things that could have been done differently on both sides to avoid this certain situation.
Right, right. You're right, true, because when you get pulled over, as black, being raised black, you're taught, close your mouth. You getting pulled over, be polite. If you ain't polite in your life, if you ain't never said yes ma'am or no sir, that's when you start saying it. You be polite. You make sure your hands is always, where they can see it. Don't do no sudden move. Don't be joking around, playing around. Take it serious, and therefore you can drive away with a little ticket. That's how you talk. And I'm like, to me, when they got pulled over, she had her little side comments and stuff like this. And it's like, okay, like, you doing a little, what I'm saying? Like, you want to be nice, so you can get a warning, maybe not a ticket.
Well, she felt empowered because she's a lawyer.
Right. But see, the cop she didn't, disclose that until after, all the craziness went down.
Right.
So I felt like if she would have maybe said in the beginning, it might have took a different turn or whatever. But this man looking at it like, okay, y'all just sat here and did something you weren't supposed to do. I'm stopping you on that, and now you got an attitude with me, or you got something sly to say to me.
Well, let's get this out of the way. The cop was very rude.
He was. Oh, the cop was wrong. Trust me, he was
He
wrong.
was wrong. Now, I've worked with police officers in my previous life. Before the military, I definitely worked with a lot of police officers, and I know that kind of attitude. You know, I've seen that attitude before. If they don't know you, they haven't seen you out here doing good things or working with them, you are a potential bad guy, a potential collar, like they used to say, like somebody they might eventually end up taking to jail, or somebody that might eventually end up putting a gun on them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so this one particular cop, he was flashing his light all in this dude's face, and so Slim raised his hand and to block the flashlight. He was like, "Why you raising your hand?" You know,
Yeah.
like you knew you was flashing that light in his face,
Right.
but he's being like kind of defensive. Like, "Oh, I was just trying to see you inside the vehicle." Like, no, you wasn't, because that flashlight was directly in my face.
Right.
You trying to make sure I'm black. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm gonna make sure he's black. But I mean, it was obvious. Like the dude was already defensive. The police officer was defensive and very aggressive, like very aggressive.
True, he was, and with her little comments, even though he just kind of like heard them, but didn't really say too much to her comments. Like the guy, it's like, it's kind of like every comment she made him go up another notch.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, even though you're not supposed to do that or whatever as a cop, but it's like every time she says something, made him go up another notch. Like, people can say what they want to say, so you shouldn't, get all crazy just because she's saying something. But that's what it did.
Right.
And it's, I don't know, like you said, there was, on both sides, there was a lot of stuff that could have been prevented.
Right. So he brought him out the car and started patting him down, and he was like, "Have you been drinking tonight?" And he kind of like No. He's like, why is that funny? He kind of defensive. He's
Right.
like, I don't drink. So he kind of brushed that off, but he started searching the car and she got out
Well, yeah,
searching the trunk.
Cause remember when he got the boy ID and he went back to his car, he was like, "Oh, potential possible DUI."
Yeah.
Well, it can't be a DUI if the guy don't drink.
Right.
So at that point, he had to find another reason to
justify why he pulled him over in the first place.
Like,
So he was like, see, this is my problem. Like, cause again, like I say, I work with police officers, so I know, and I got a criminal justice degree, so I know the workaround for getting consent for searches. You know what I'm saying? So he walked back to the car. He's like, "Open this for me." And just because he's a police officer, you supposed to just do what the fuck he says. That's what we was taught. He's like, be polite, do what they ask, and all that stuff. So he was like, open this for me. He was like, ain't nothing in there for some shoes. Like, do what I asked you to do. It was a workaround for him. Technically, he
to
asked
get
him
consent.
to get consent. He asked him to search his car. He could have said no, but then that probably it probably still would have ended where it did. You know? So the best thing for him to do at that point was either probably ask for him to call for backup, or let me get your supervisor out here or something like that, because I don't feel comfortable with you. But
it would have still ended because that guy, when he was hunting for blood that night.
Yeah.
So it was still ended the same way.
Right, because he was searching his car.
Because at that point, you can't tell him no.
Right. So he was searching his trunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, what's in these shoe boxes? He was like, shoes. And he continued to search, continued to look for something to pin on him. And he was like, can you please hurry up? He was like, what'd you say?
Oh, yeah, that made him real mad there.
Yeah, he was like, what?
Like, you about to rush me?
Like, he was like, it's cold out here. So right after he said, only thing he said, it's cold out here, he closed the trunk and pulled a gun out on this man.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
See, that's a problem with this movie. That's a problem with society. And I think that's what they try to. That's not the problem with the movie, but that's what they try to portray in this movie. Like, the problem with police, someone like got a straight up, I don't know how else to put it, but a God complex.
Right.
Like, who are you talking to? You know what I'm saying?
And that is how they feel, because they're like, okay, well, because I'm wearing this badge, well, not all of them, just saying some people. Yeah. But because I'm wearing this badge, you can't be talking to me any kind of way. Like, there's level to this, and I am above you because I got this badge. Right. So you shouldn't be talking to me any kind of way.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, he pulled out a gun. She tried to pull out a phone. She stated numerous of times, I'm about to pull out my phone. And so as soon as she went to reach for it, he turned around, he shot her ass.
Yeah, but I feel like she should have got out the car with that, to be honest. Like, as soon as he had that man open that trunk, at that point my camera would have been out and I'd have been rolling. Like, I'm sorry, I'd have been recording that.
Well, shit, how you know that shit was still going to happen? Well, as soon as he opened the trunk, because he had the gun pulled at that time.
Well, yeah, right, because he had the trunk, because she saw something was wrong, because she was like, yo, do you have a warrant? And he was like, I don't need a warrant, he could send it. So at that point, I would have had the phone. I'm like, all right, it's already about to be some mess.
Right.
Because it don't make no sense.
But you seen people even in real life get shot reaching for their phone or something like that. So you pull out your phone, you get out, you turn around.
She could have been recording from the back seat though, because all she had to do, because he wasn't paying attention to her in the car, so she could have had her phone on and recording from the back seat.
Well, I'm telling you, from what I've seen from this cop, his mindset was, these are dangerous people.
Well, yeah,
they're black, they're dangerous. So if you pointing something at him, whether it's your phone or whatever, you got something black in your hand pointing at him, he gonna take it like, I thought it was a gun, and he's gonna shoot your ass. And that would have been his excuse, I feel, regardless. That would have been his excuse. So after that, which they got the police officer shot Queen, and then Slim gets to fighting and wrestling with the police officer, and somehow he ended up with his gun and he shot him, which I don't think he really should have shot him. He could have threw it and kept fighting the guy. I mean, I'm a fighter, so I gladly brought on that tussle.
He didn't have to fight him, like, because once he shot her and they started to, because I think he grabbed at the guy gun.
Right.
But once the gun hit the ground, like you say, he could have kicked the gun away or threw it or whatever the case may be, and probably ran to his car and left. But I mean, she still have been out there because she was laying in the snow though.
Yeah, yeah.
He would have had to leave her.
No, she could have got her ass up.
He would have to throw that gun far because
Well,
by the time he tried to help her in the car to leave, the cop would have got his gun back.
right. But see, way I see it, the police are more powerful in force. Me one on one with an out of shape police officer, like
Why you
I'm,
want to fight him?
I would dismantle him with my bare hands. You know what I'm saying? I could choke him to sleep, or I could knock him out.
But
You know what I'm saying?
that is a
and I could get away.
But that's a crime though. He's still a police
Yes, it's
officer.
still a crime, but that man still used self defense, and he already shot an innocent female.
But you know how our
for reaching
justice
for the
system,
phone.
but the way our justice system is created, the court has to decide if she was innocent or not.
Right, but that obviously the whole thing was on video.
It was on video.
It's on video.
but-
So after you turn and you shoot this person and you get to fight with this dude for self defense, you could have did something to put him to sleep or something, and you got rid of his gun and you could sat there. You could sat there wait for backup, or got in his car, use the radio, call for backup. I'm being hypothetical right now, but
I mean, but that would have. So you would have had to, like I said, you would have had to either get the cop down, because if the cop was still, able to run or able to do something, then he wouldn't have had too many choices.
Right.
So I mean, shooting him put the cop down, and that gave them time to think or whatever. But fighting him, if he was to knock him out, then that would have gave him time to think. But
shooting him was the worst case scenario. That's what I'm saying.
Shooting him was the quickest thing, because that boy didn't look like no fighter.
Yeah, but it's also the very worst thing you could do.
Right. Well, true. Exactly.
You killed him.
He took the cop gun.
And he killed him.
Like,
he killed him. But don't get me wrong. I'm a different kind of person. I feel like everybody should know self-defense. Mm-hmm. Everybody should know some kind of martial art, but jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, to be able to defend themselves.
But in this guy case, he didn't.
Exactly.
And so the only way that he could put that cop down was to shoot him.
Yeah.
And apparently he shot him where he could die. But
yeah,
I mean, I don't know why people don't know how to shoot people in the legs, or because
the police officer definitely shot
her. to put, to stop them, not to kill them, but whatever.
Yeah. But okay, after he shot him, she came out. She was like, "Let's go," and that's beyond me right there, bro. That's beyond me.
Yeah, I didn't get it because I'm like, you a lawyer. I'm like, first of all, he was the one driving. He was the one out there. You got shot in the leg. So why couldn't you wait until, and then he the one that shot the cop. So why couldn't you wait to backup come and then say, hey, did this cop got a body cam? Is there a camera or something? Right. Like, this cop just shot me. The boy had no weapons other than the cop gun. Right. He had no weapons. He had no drugs in his car. He had not been drinking. She had not been drinking. They were not on drugs. So I was confused as why they could not just sit there and wait until backup came.
See, and then a lot of people don't know, like, once you run, you are automatically guilty, no matter what happened. No matter what happened. Somebody, you go to somebody's house, right? And somebody break into your friend's house and you kill them. Once you leave that place and run, you are automatically guilty. You look like you brought this dude here and set him up and you killed him. You know what I'm saying? So even with this cop, you automatically look guilty. You are a certified cop killer. You probably would have had some defense. At least it wouldn't have been much. Don't get me wrong, he's still been in a lot of trouble because he killed him. Mm-hmm. He's still been in a lot of trouble. But you at least have some type of defense in court because you did not leave the scene of the crime. Leaving the scene of the crime is a crime in itself.
It is. That is the issue, is leaving. Because like you said, once you leave, it's like, all right, you must be guilty, because if you weren't guilty, you would have stayed.
You would have stayed.
But to me, the common sense thing is, if you're scared, more than likely you will leave. Like, they left because they were scared. So it's like, okay, like, that shouldn't mean they're guilty. Like, let's put all the clues together.
Right. But
I didn't get...
if he would have came and said, "Let's leave," I would have understood that. But the lawyer
The one that was shot, the
said,
victim in all this.
right, said like, "Let's leave." I don't get her point of view. Like, you must be a shit lawyer if you telling a potential client to leave the scene of a crime. And to on being on her side, she was like, "It doesn't matter. You're black, so they gonna prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law." Maybe,
Okay, did we not
maybe,
see how this movie ended? He would have had better chance standing there, to
yes.
be honest.
That's what I'm saying.
Because what they want to run for what, a week, maybe 5 days, 4 days, something like that.
Yeah,
Like he would have had more life. I mean, I don't know what quality of life it would have been, but he would have had more of a life if he just stayed there and figure out what was going to happen.
probably would have got out of jail. He was did some time though.
I mean, oh yes, I mean, you're black, you're getting locked up.
He
You getting locked up, you getting a fingerprint, you're gonna be in there. But like they did find the body cam, and because at the end they kind of clear him because they said that the cop had like
No, once they got in the car, remember they went on the run, and after they met that one sheriff that gave him a ride, they put him in the trunk, stole his car, and the next place they went, they trying to get something to eat, and they asked the little boy to give him some food, and when they was trying to pull off, when he recognized them, they was trying to pull off, and they end up hitting the boy dad, and he had to take it to the hospital, and the boy dad was in the back seat telling him like, yeah, he killed this this dude that was just minding his own business and trying to picking up his daughter from school or dropping her off for one of those, and he was just minding his own business, and he killed him for no reason like 2 years ago.
Right. So he already had like some kind of record of
shooting black people.
Right.
So, and how he still had a job is, again, that shit is beyond me. I have no idea how you still have a job. See, we probably gonna get into that. Let's stick to the movie right now. We're gonna get into the next segment. But it's crazy. So they on the run, with a lot of crazy stuff happen. They end up driving to New Orleans and going to Uncle house, and Uncle seemed like a little pimp and stuff like that. It was just funny.
They did too much, bro, in this movie. They did too much.
The uncle is like the subject of a couple memes that I've seen. He's like, he been in every movie that all black people watch, but nobody still knows his name.
Yeah, because I don't know his name. That is true.
It seems like nobody knows his name, bro. Why nobody knows this man's name, bro? He is a famous actor. He been in a lot of movies that I've seen. But what is it? Uncle Earl. His name is Bokeem Woodbine. So I'll give you a shout out, Bokeem Woodbine. Good job, bro. You had a great career. Still having a great career. But yeah, so they went to Uncle house, and Uncle gave him a number of one of his little military guys, and which is a white couple, and they end up helping him, hiding them, and they end up stealing the car and going to an address that the white couple gave them, and going out there in Florida. And then we meet the shady black guy that walk up on him with a damn shotgun and shit. So they spend a little time in his trailer. They say, "Oh yeah, we could get here tomorrow," but they want to go today. So calling him back and take him to the airport and stuff like that.
Yeah, see, right there, they should have knew that was a setup because
how?
Because when he was on the phone, one, you come to pick me up with a shotgun in my face. It's like, why do you feel you need the shotgun for me?
Right.
Because I'm like, because that'd have been like, I'm not a threat. So why do you feel you need a shotgun for me?
I'm here for your help, bro. Like, what am I gonna do?
That's what I'm saying. So to me, that shotgun would have been like, you were gonna take me somewhere whether I wanted to go or not.
Right.
And then that's why your gun is here. But anyways, they should have knew it was a setup when they was like, no, we need to go now. And the guy like, all right, let me call him. Please, ain't nobody getting no plane clear to fly that fast.
Right.
Like, you not just getting in a plane is not a car. You're not just getting in there just taking off.
Yeah, you gotta have flight plans. You gotta register that flight.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, so that right there in itself should have been like, yeah, this is a setup.
Yep. So later on in the movie, you see him sitting there counting a bunch of money because they had a reward out for him. So he turned them in.
And that's the messed up part, because throughout the movie, like it seemed like when they ran into black people, they they felt like, what they did was justified. Like, y'all didn't do nothing wrong. I don't know why they trying to hunt y'all, but y'all didn't do anything wrong. So for at the end, for the black man to be the one that turned them in was really messed up, because the white couple,
Help them.
they helped them, but the wife was like, do you know what we could do with the money if we turned you in?
Right.
And
At least she brought it up.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? She was real with him, because she was like, man, I'm thinking about this. We'll be good because we don't know you from anyone. So, like, it ain't nothing. But they helped them. And for the black guy to be the one to turn him in for money,
Yeah.
it's like, yo, that's like on some low stuff right there.
Yeah, it is. But to me, it's even more dirty that you turned him in, because what you think when the police would do to you? If you got pulled over by that same car, what you think would have happened? He would have shot you quicker.
That's what I'm
You got a
like.
black man with
Did he have fronts?
yeah, he had gold teeth in his
Dreads.
mouth and all this kind of shit. They would have shot your ass faster.
I'm like, I don't. It just drove me. Like that part just made me mad, because I'm like, and then, but at the same time, it was like, did they really think that they were going to leave the U.S.? Like, they really thought that that was going to happen? Like, that was another thing I was thinking. Like,
They did.
she could have just been like, when she got to her uncle, if she wanted, well, we end up finding out about their relationship with her and her uncle, but she could have went with her uncle and been like, all right, look, just turn us in. Like, just, they got a reward out for us. You could take the money. Or even with the white folks, like, like I said, like, you know what, we can't keep running.
Yeah, like how powerful do you think your pimp uncle friend is?
And that was the issue. It was
It's
down.
too
It was down. It
intimate.
was down too many people.
Yeah, your uncle's friend. It was too far. So people,
Yeah,
how you know your uncle trusts the white people's friend
he don't know him.
or the
That's what.
person that gonna be flying the plane? You don't know your uncle.
Yeah,
Don't know none of these people. You trust your uncle, and that's what you should. And you probably the one person that you probably could trust was the person
that
that
he told you about.
that he told you about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But first, it stops right there.
Exactly.
You just because this person told you about the white people told you about a person that could help you, you should not trust that person at all.
It was just too far. It was too far down. And then my thing is, like I said, realistically would have been, if that was the case, everybody would be flying out the country when they do a crime.
Right.
It was like the only thing you could do is lay low yourself. There was no way you leaving this country.
Well, I think they probably have a better chance by boat.
Yeah, they would have. They would have, to be honest. Like, you talking about flying? Okay, you fly over there, and what you gonna do? You ain't got no passport. You ain't got nothing.
Right.
What you gonna do when you get there? They gonna send you back.
Right. Yep, that's true. And okay, the ending. They didn't have to die, bro. That's my whole thing. Why did you shoot them? They was clearly unarmed.
Obviously, this movie like shooting black people, so they just had to finish them off.
I mean,
they couldn't finish them in the first part, so finish them in the end.
I think this is Blue Lives thing. You killed one of our own, so as soon as we catch your ass, you ain't going to jail. We're gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? And that's my whole thing. As soon as you ran, you knew you was dead.
Exactly.
You was dead. You going to run across all these states. You was dead.
They put that number on their own back. Like, they put that price on their own head, honestly.
As soon as you run into another police officer, you are going to die. You killed a police officer. You killed one police officer. Now you're going to run across all these states. The FBI gonna get involved, and you're gonna have every police department in the country hunt for you. You put a bullseye on your own back.
But it still pissed me off, because even with like I said, with the fact that people knew that this guy had shot somebody before that could have been innocent, that didn't matter.
No, it didn't. Not at all. So I don't know. But I got a couple questions, so we're gonna go over like a couple questionable things that happened in the movie, and we're gonna relate them to real life. And it should be pretty damn interesting. So we're gonna see what's going on with these questions. I want to know what you think. I want to know what our audience think. Hit us up on twinkaberry.com and submit your questions, and we will be right back for part 2.
And we're back. Segment 2, guys.
All right, so we're gonna be going over some questions about this movie.
Okay.
Well, that pertains to real life though. So let's start from the beginning of the movie when they met off a Tinder. What are some first date deal breakers? And I asked this because eventually later on in the movie, she said that she would have never went on a second date with him.
Yeah, she
So
does say that.
I guess he had some deal breakers, or she didn't really like him like that, or something like that. So what are some first date deal breakers with you?
Like, okay, so on the first date, like we on the first date.
Yeah, y'all on the first date.
Okay.
And as far as we know, they ain't do anything but meet up at this. Oh well, he picked her up. They went to the restaurant,
At
and
the
he was about to
restaurant.
drop her home. That's it.
All right.
Which is kind of bullshit for a first date, if you ask me. But okay.
I'll say number one, you not paying for my meal. Cause don't if you gonna ask me, and that's it. I'm just saying, if you asking me out to go somewhere, so I'm leaving the comfort of my home to go meet you somewhere, you should at least have the courtesy to pay for it. So if you ain't got money, don't be calling me on no dates. Point blank, period. Just saying.
Okay, I think we knew that one.
But I'm just saying because at the end of the day, no, don't get me wrong, because I always carry my own money. So at the end of the day, if I end up having to pay for my own stuff, we done.
Like, what are you here for?
We done. Yeah, we not going back because you just wasted my time. Because if I wanted to eat expensively, it probably wouldn't have been the place you took me to. So at that point, nah.
Well, they was at the black owned
Don't
restaurant.
matter.
And I guess she didn't like the food because she didn't really eat it. He ended up them to eat all her food.
Well, she thought it was cheap because she was like, "What? This is the only place you could afford." So
Right.
I think she had an issue with that from the start, where they ended up at to eat.
Right.
So you know, what I mean, she is a lawyer, so I think that was number one for her.
So you got anything else? Any other first date deal breakers?
Bring your friends.
Bringing your friends?
Yeah. So
has that happened to you before?
Well, not without me knowing, because I have had people like, you know, we're gonna meet up and they're like, oh well, my homeboy, he ain't got no, you know, he want to come, or he just gonna be, you know, just here or whatever, so he want to come. You got like a homegirl? And I'll be like, okay, sure, yeah, I found a homegirl. Like something like that is okay,
like a double date situation.
Yeah, as long as you tell me from in the beginning, but don't pop up and you got somebody with you, because it's like, okay, now this is gonna be weird because your friend knows you, so y'all gonna be doing more talking, and it's just gonna be weird. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can handle my company. Just saying, I can handle the situation. Just gonna be weird.
Yeah, I guess some first date deal breakers for me, it's really hard to say because I'm so easygoing, but I can't. Let me tell you something. I can't stand a female with attitude. I can't stand a female with attitude. So if you come in there on the first date, it's cool. It's cool later on, but I probably still won't be able to deal with it. But but if you come on the first date and have an attitude like that shit just kills me. It kills me, bro. Because you know, I realized something in the art of dating, and I don't talk to other people about this and everything. When you meet somebody from the first time and they trying to make a somewhat good impression, it's not them you're meeting. You're meeting their representative.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you know, because you got to get to know somebody, and everything's all hunky dory in the
beginning.
Yeah, so that's not them though.
Right.
That's not them. That's the representative. So if your representative got an attitude, I know one night I might wake up next to you with a damn knife to my throat. I might end up like old boy in Goodfellas with a gun to my head, bro. It's like you was texting her and you about to pull the trigger on me. You know what I'm saying?
But that's jealousy. That's jealous women.
Jealousy and insecurity. But I'm just saying, if I could spot that out on the first date, like
you went on a date like that where the girl had attitude?
Yes.
What was she mad about?
She had an attitude with everything. I don't like that. Nah, we ain't gonna be doing that. And then going off on the waiter, and so that's another thing I can say. You going off on the waiter,
that's kind of rude. Yeah,
like bro, like you got an attitude, or like I like ladies. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't got no manners. Mm-hmm. Like you ain't got no manners. Like I ain't gonna say who, but I went out with this one female, And we went to Waffle House. She ordered a waffle. She literally started tearing up the waffle with her hands.
Why I do that
in a restaurant? In a restaurant. We're in the restaurant and you using your hand.
What's wrong with that?
They gave you a knife, bro.
Nah, bro, it's easier with your look. Those who tear your waffles or pancakes up, I want y'all to
with your hands.
Yes, it's easier that way, guys. I'm telling you, it's easier that way. Why sit here go through all this with a freaking knife when you could just tear it up with your hand and be done it?
Because it's called table manners.
Nah, it got nothing to do with it. Like in less than 30 seconds, you'll be done. With that knife, I'm still sitting here trying to cut and act like I'm all proper. Put that little butter knife to the side because it's a butter knife meant to butter things, not to cut up my waffle.
I swear to God,
man, bro. I do that. What you talking? But I don't really eat breakfast food like that no more these days.
I damn near flipped out, and we had been dating for a while, but I think that was the first time I actually took her to a Waffle House or something like that when she had to eat a waffle or eat breakfast, like a waffle or pancakes. But once she put her fork and knife down, set it to the side, and literally picked it up, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, you ain't got no kind of manners with this shit."
Man, but why are you worrying about how she eat it? Was there somebody looking? It's Waffle House. It's not like y'all know. It's not like you was in a 5-star restaurant. It's Waffle House.
But you're a lady.
It's Waffle House.
You're a lady.
Do you know what goes down in Waffle House?
I know.
My 910 people. You know what I'm saying? Do you not know what goes down in Waffle House?
Especially in Atlanta. I know what goes down in Waffle House.
That ain't nowhere for no manners. Matter of fact, that's where you need to put your hood mentality on to make sure you don't get beat up or shot. That's what you need.
No, this was broad daylight. I'm
just saying.
This wasn't.
Oh, when after the club?
No, this wasn't after the club Waffle House. This the middle of the day on the weekday Waffle House. And I'm just saying, I'm like, bro, you ain't got no manners.
Nah, like, bro, ain't nothing wrong with that.
So you telling me right now? You telling me right now that females shouldn't have a certain type of table manners? As a lady, you sit there in a dress, makeup, looking all nice, and you gonna put your knife and fork down and start tearing up a damn waffle with your bare hands?
Okay, so if it was chicken, was she supposed to eat the chicken with a fork? She would have touched that chicken with her hands. So what difference does it make?
No,
no. Because if you're saying manners, what difference would that make?
I ain't saying like extreme manners, but I'm saying if you wanted to cut something, like you eating chicken wings, you could pick up a chicken wing and bite into it. That's fine.
But no, it's not fine. It's still her hands, because the issue is that you got it as she touched it instead of using a knife. I've seen people use a fork to eat chicken with. I don't understand the purpose of it. That's what I'm saying. I've seen it. Okay. So if you're okay with her picking up a chicken with her hand, why couldn't she tear her waffles and then use her fork? It's not like she was using her hand to feed her mouth.
Because chicken wings are smaller.
Nah, but you were just being picky.
And everybody eats chicken wings with their hands.
You were just being picky.
I ain't never seen nobody do that.
I do it.
But I was thinking, like, if she ordered like a fat ass steak and she just picked it up and started biting into it. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing to me as her tearing up her waffle with her bare hands.
But she didn't. But she used the fork, correct, to eat the waffle with, right?
Yeah.
So what was the issue? Her hands were only used to prepare the meal for her to use the fork to eat with. It wasn't that bad. Now, if she just had it and is dunking it like it's some freaking nachos or some freaking something like that, it'd been different. You just overthought that. I feel like you overthought that.
I agree. I was being a little picky, but I like a lady.
Oh my God. I
like a lady.
So, whatever.
All right. So we already spent too much time on this. We about to go in. All right. Police brutality. Because it seemed like, from what I read from the writer, Lena, I don't want to mispronounce your name, but Lena, police brutality was her motive in doing this film. Mm-hmm. Which so what are your views on police brutality? I think we talked about this a little bit on the last part. So I'm gonna say again, they got a God complex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like there should be some extra training for police officers. Especially, my main concern is dealing with those with mental health issues. I feel like, and I'm just gonna go quickly on that. I think that there definitely need to be some more training, and these cops need to be able, if they feel that threatened about their life in every situation, they don't need to be cops. Because even as a soldier, when you go to war, you can't just go shoot somebody. You got to have permission.
Yeah, the rules are against that.
So I feel like when you're a civilian and you're out here in the local community, you can't just, everybody is shoot to kill. To me, that's crazy. And don't get me wrong, It's a different thing when you're putting on that uniform every single day and going out here in the streets. However, if it's to the point where everybody that is a certain race or a certain color or a certain height or a certain build is a threat to you, then you should not wear that uniform anymore. At this point, you need to retire and do something else, or you need to do something else, because what you're doing is you're making things hostile, and that's making other people hostile. And it gets it again. My whole thing is with the mental health thing. I feel like we get these young kids, we label them with all these disabilities. And for what reason? Because when they grow up and there's an issue involving somebody with mental health and they're still shot down like they're a criminal, or they're still put down like there's some rabies infested animal, then it's like, what was the purpose of labeling this child or labeling these people all these years if we're not going to give them the right assistance when they need help?
Right.
So that's it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, bro. Being a police officer to me is one of the hardest jobs in the entire world. It is very hard.
The hardest job is being a trophy wife.
What? Being a get, girl, you don't get your ass. I'm trying to get serious over here. All right, well, for real, it's a hard job, but like I hear people talking about defunding the police. Some mean actually taking all their money and like abolishing the police, but that's not what they need, because who you gonna call if something go wrong?
Let the community take care of the community.
Nah, that shit ain't gonna work.
How? Why would not?
That shit ain't gonna work.
Why wouldn't it?
Because look at that other place in Seattle, Chaz. They literally took off a square block, and their murder rate was higher in a couple months than it had been in years. You know what I'm saying? So it's some shit that went down. So when they said defund the police, I don't think they some people mean abolish the police, but other people mean put money in certain places, like to domestic violence call. Police should not have to show up. You should have counselors and other kind of people show up. It should be certain people that shows up for certain situations. And I totally agree. And my other thing is with that, like I heard it on other podcasts. I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, and he was talking about police brutality, and he had Andrew Yang on, potential political. He was trying to run for president like this year, but anyway, he said he feel like all police officers should be like a purple belt in jiu-jitsu before they even go out there. And you know how long it takes to be a purple belt in jiu-jitsu? It take a couple of years of training.
So then who gonna be policing places then while they ain't trained doing that?
Shit, you can rotate their ass. They still got to go to class. They could do it while they still on the streets. But being a purple belt in jiu-jitsu is just not understanding how to react under pressure and being able to control somebody without having to kill them, having to use lethal force.
No, the thing is, to me, like I said, they need to understand that Black people are not that scary. They are not a threat. If anything, if they want to do something, they should make these cops have to volunteer and work into the Black neighborhoods before they can carry a gun.
But
you can be a cop, but you cannot carry a gun until you do a certain amount of community service hours in the Black community.
Yeah, that'll work too. But you know that how they do it, they assign you to certain areas. So in the majority Black community, it's gonna be majority Black cops working that area. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know that?
That ain't how that works.
That's how I'm telling you. That's how it works,
man.
Well, you got if you got a community that's 90% Black, 90 to 95% Black, 90 to 95% of those officers that work in that community are gonna be Black as well, because they figured that it will mitigate police brutality, because nobody's gonna beat up their own. You know what I'm saying? As far as racism and stuff like that. They making sure, oh, this Black cop shoots this Black guy. Nobody could really blame racism and stuff like that. Ain't gonna be no marches in the street. That's how they do. But they think that's gonna mitigate it. But I don't know. Police brutality is a touchy subject, so we're gonna kind of scoot. All right, so being on the run from the police, as Queen of Slim was this entire movie, pretty much. If you was on the run, who would you call?
Who would I call? Man, let me
Like,
tell you something.
who would help you or turn your ass in to get that reward?
I don't know. Probably everybody turn me in.
So you ain't
I
make too
well
many
no
friends.
well no. I feel like I do got some true friends. And I feel like if need be, I can go lay low with them. They probably would help me out. They probably give me some money, try to help me out, whatever. I feel like I would have some places I could go lay low. But for me personally, I'm a very paranoid person. So I would feel like I couldn't feel safe somewhere. I feel like nah,
Yeah,
like the police about to come up, they done left for work, the police gonna come instead of them. Like I'll be way I couldn't be on the run. To be honest, I couldn't do it because I'm way too paranoid as a law abiding citizen. So I can only imagine how I would be if I'm actually on the run. Like I couldn't do it. Like I wouldn't trust anyone at all. So,
right. I mean, I know the majority of my family members probably would never turn me in. Cause
but it
I
wouldn't
mean,
be them. It would be someone they know, though.
well, yeah, but if they don't trust that person, I'm not finna trust that person. You know, if they trust them, I'm gonna give them kind of the benefit of the doubt, but I'm only gonna trust them to a certain extent.
Because what they have in their head with like 100,000 or 200,000, something crazy.
Yeah, some will have.
I mean, that's a lot of money. So even though your family might, okay, this is my best friend forever, but they looking like me and this will pay my mortgage off and send my kids to school.
Right. But there's also some family members that I know that would turn my ass in. There's some people that you really can't call. Like, nah, you did the crime, you got to do the time.
Oh
You
yes,
going to
yeah.
jail.
Nah, I wouldn't. Me honestly, I probably wouldn't turn to family because I wouldn't put them. I wouldn't want to put them in that position.
Right.
That if I did get caught with them, they get charges or something like that. So I probably would I definitely probably wouldn't go to no family. I would have to rely on the friends I met.
Shit, it's some family members like my dad. I get in some shit. That boy high to me, bro. And if the police come, we gonna be going out together. My dad ain't, especially if I tell him I ain't do it, it was a accident or something like that. My dad going with me. You know what I'm saying? He's like, we going to Cuba right now. He ain't give a fuck. But okay, so next question. Do you think you have the criminal skills or knowledge to stay on the run and to be actually be successful getting away?
Yeah, I'm a girl.
You a girl? What does that mean?
That means a lot.
What that mean? The power of that P?
That's
That what you? I mean, what that
no,
mean?
it means that I feel like I feel like it would be easy for me to change how I look. I feel like it'd be easy for me to find a place to stay. Like if I really want to just be on the like just be laying low somewhere, I feel like it would be easy. I'll just go to a bar. Just go to a bar, just sit there, meet some guy, like, oh yeah, go spend the night, and then that night turn to another night. So I'll be able to find somewhere to stay.
You go city, meet a guy,
Exactly.
and
I'll be
pretty much
straight.
stay. Yeah,
I'll be straight. Put it on a different wig,
I
some
bet.
makeup, change my name here and there.
Until you meet that wrong guy who's either gonna probably possibly rape your ass or they'll
Kill me?
kill you or recognize you and turn your ass in.
Nah, because they wouldn't be able to recognize me. You know how many times people said that I look like somebody they know or they saw before? So like, I
But
just
see,
saw that
in this
person.
case, their faces are blasted all over the TV as damn cop killers. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that actually watch the news, which nobody really does today, but if you really watch the news, your local news or whatever, you would have seen this face, and then you go out that very same night.
But see, the issue is they were together.
Right.
If they would have split up, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, because they looking for a male and
exactly
female.
looking for two people together.
Yeah.
So that stands out more like, oh, that looks like that person. Oh, and she with a guy. Oh yeah, that got to be them.
Well, they stayed together because I felt like they felt like they had to take care of each other.
Well, I mean, because honestly, she didn't do anything.
No, she didn't.
Because he was the one who killed the cop.
But it was her idea to run. He wasn't gonna go nowhere. It was her idea.
It was her idea, but that's what I'm saying. I felt like she was already done with life, or done with everything. Right. Like she had no faith in the justice system. So she was like, "You're doomed." So and somehow, some kind of way, I'm doomed. So let's just go.
Right. I think I'll probably be able to stay on the run for a little while.
You think so?
Yeah, because I wouldn't have made the same mistakes these motherfuckers did.
I won't be doing more crimes.
Okay, so
I would not be doing more crimes.
Well, you kind of have to.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so let's take this one part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when a car break down?
Mm-hmm.
And they had to go. They literally
no. They ran out of gas because he's an idiot.
No, that's the first time.
Okay.
They ran out of gas, and then that's when they got picked up the sheriff. That was early on in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But they then they showed the sheriff's truck and went to their uncle house, and they found police found the truck. That's when they uncle had to give him another car, the little teal car with the rims on it, and that car broke down, and they had to take it to the shop. And that's when they met the little boy that was out there protesting, who eventually ended up pulling a gun out on a police officer and getting his ass killed. But that sucks. But anyway, they actually, the car broke down and you took it to the shop and you had to pay this man to fix it. Like, you are a fugitive. You're a fugitive. Your car just broke down. You gonna take it to a shop? Nigga, steal another car.
Well, I don't know how to steal cars.
You got a gun.
Oh, did they have a gun?
Yes.
No, they didn't.
Remember when they stopped? This was after they ran out of gas. They ran to the sheriff and they stole the sheriff's car after throwing him in the trunk. Right? Mm-hmm. They needed to stop to get gas, and they stopped at the gas station. Yeah,
he had a gun because he robbed. Yeah.
And he tried to rob it. Yeah. And when the white boy was like, "I'll pay for your gas if you show me your gun," and he actually gave it to him. The white boy ended up pointing the gun at him, and he got all nervous. But you should have gave that motherfucker your gun in the first place. But anyway, he had a gun. So why not steal another car? Y'all in the shit.
So now, that means technically they were armed and dangerous then.
Kinda. But that still didn't justify them getting shot at the end too. You know what I'm saying? Because no guns was pulled on them.
Right. And he had the girl whole body in his hands. So it's like, obviously he ain't no threat.
Right. But they put him down like dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think I'll be able to stay on the run because, you commit more crimes.
Yeah, you'd have to, but that means by the time
you probably leave a trail of crimes that you committed, so they probably catch up with you. But
right.
By the time that happens, you should be gone already.
But then that's worse because if they do clear you from your first crime, you have committed additional crimes.
Yeah.
So you going to do the time for the additional crimes.
Well, you wasn't gonna get cleared anyway. You was down to get murdered.
Well, she didn't murder nobody.
No, she didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
But she's riding with a cop killer, and she was there on the scene, and she left when he left. So,
but she had a whole bullet in her leg. She had the best alibi out of anybody.
Yeah, that's true. If anybody was,
and I would say he kidnapped me. I'm sorry, but like, you kidnapped me.
You a whole snitch out here.
I ain't going to jail.
I mean, if anybody was not going to go to jail, it was her.
That's true.
Because she got shot. She ain't have. She not one time had a gun.
Right.
She was going to probably get out that thing scot free.
Exactly. She'd have been straight.
But hey, she had to do what she had to do. She felt like she had to run. So, okay, the thin line between self-defense and murder. Like, when is it self-defense? When is it murder?
Well, the law says self-defense is getting the person, if you're in a situation, getting the person off for you, that do whatever you can do for self. That's self-defense. But once you are able to, you're in a position where you can walk away or leave, and you continue to go on, then at that point you are now the aggressor, and now it's murder. It's no longer self-defense. Right. But me personally, I feel like self-defense, if someone is attacking me first, then don't matter what I do afterwards, should all be self-defense. But that's not what the law says.
But if they start running away from you and you shoot them in the back, you know what I'm saying? That's not self-defense. That's murder. Somebody breaks into your house,
right, mm-hmm.
and you wake up and all that shit. You get your gun. They take what they want to take, but mm-hmm. They get out the door before you get to the door, mm-hmm. and they literally run it. Mm-hmm. You shoot them, mm-hmm. you going to jail for murder.
That's what I'm saying. But to me, it still should be self-defense because they enacted this. They started this crime. They came into my property. I don't care if they leave it or not. They should never came in here. So. Right. Either way, them running away does not clear the fact that they broke into my house.
Right.
So it should not clear the fact that it shouldn't be like, oh, well, I can't shoot him because he's leaving. Nah, Bo, shouldn't have did it. So now that you did it, you're about to get shot.
Yeah.
But again, that's not how the law is.
Yeah, but I would never agree to shoot somebody in the back. You know what I'm saying?
So you wake up. And there's a man in your house. Let's say you're men in your child room. They done broke in your child room and they see you and they run out the front door. And you can be like, he's running. It's okay. You can be like, no, I want this man dead because I didn't know what the heck going on. You not gonna be out here in the street doing nothing else, or you not coming back. My fear is you're gonna come back.
Well, you heard what I said. I said shoot him in the back. I ain't never said shoot him in the leg or shoot his ass in the head. I said shoot him in the back. But shit, I probably, if I catch this man standing over my daughter, he ain't gonna make it out that door in the first place. And if he do, I'll make sure I got my keys. I'm gonna run him down until I get in front of him, and I may not kill him, but I'm gonna make sure this man goes to jail or something. But I'm definitely going. He ain't getting away. You know what I'm saying? I like.
Well, you know what?
Some people call that vigilante justice, though.
But look, first of all, now I think about it, like I be watching these movies and the cops be shooting people in the back while they running and stuff. So how can a cop do it and be cleared, but yeah, a citizen can't do it? I'm not trained to be no cop. I'm trained to be me, a regular person. So if somebody's in my house and how am I going to detain them? I mean, other than to shoot them?
That's how the game goes sometimes, man. I mean, that's just the rule of our society. We all know that cops get away with shit they ain't supposed to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
We know that they protect their own. Blue lives matter to them. And just be honest. Let's just be totally honest. When they say blue lives matter and the black lives matter, being black, you can't help.
Right.
Being a blue life, that is a choice. That is a profession. Yeah. That's not your race. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I ain't got no choice but to be black, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you got a choice whether to be a police officer or not. So don't give me that blue lives matter shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that is a choice. You know what I'm saying? That, don't get me wrong. Again, it's still the hardest job in the world, and a cop should be respected. But some of these cops are dead wrong when they do some of this stuff to the streets.
True.
Some of them are dead wrong, and that's what it boils down to. And if you see if you a police officer, and you see another police officer do something wrong, and you don't say something, you just as bad, because y'all supposed to be above reproach. People look at y'all as a symbol of a good society.
Again, it goes back to gangs. So you gotta think about it. It's like a police, like, okay, I know he did something wrong, but that's my brother, so I'm not snitching on him.
Yeah, I gotta protect them.
It's just like the gangs, so I'm not gonna be snitching on my people.
But it shouldn't be like that. Y'all should hold yourself at a higher standard than the people that you are actually out here trying to catch, that y'all call criminals or bad guys or thugs or whatever. You should hold yourself to a higher standard. So just because these gangsters out here in the street talking about no snitching, it should be all snitches with y'all. All y'all snitches anyway. Y'all the ops, y'all the feds, y'all the popo. You know what I'm saying? Y'all 5-0, whatever you want to call it. Y'all are the snitches out here, bro. So just so that means you can't snitch on your own kind? That's not how the game should be played with y'all.
Right.
It's a code in the streets. Y'all should have a code too. We snitching on everybody. Everybody could get this snitch. You know what I'm saying? Get the snitch word. Everybody could get it. I don't hold my snitches down for nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm snitching on everybody. If I was a police officer and my job is to snitch, I'm catching criminals. That's what I'm doing. That's it. So,
but don't do that in front of me. I'm telling. That is true though. Like you gotta be bold. Like, hey, don't do that in front of me, because I'm gonna tell.
Yeah, I'm gonna snitch.
Right.
All right. So real quick before we gotta wrap it up, what you think? Lesson, blessing, or curse?
This movie frustrated me, but I'll say, you go first. You go first.
Do this every time. All right. This movie was a lesson and a blessing. It was a blessing because it was a great movie, but it was a lesson because it taught us a lot about police brutality and how it's viewed, and it was just a great all around movie.
Yeah, I'll say lesson, because it showed how one action can happen and how certain groups of people can view it one way and others, a different way. But it doesn't change the fact that that event happened. So yeah, I'll say it's a lesson.
Right. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this on up. Come check us out at twinkleberry.com. Comment, let us know what you think. Give us some movie suggestions. And follow me on DJTWINTWO on Instagram. Holla at me, DM me, whatever. next week movie is going to be a new movie that just dropped on Netflix called Cutthroat City. So we will see y'all next week.
Bye.
Holla, holla, holla at the player.